Welcome to another complete episode from the Wrestling Epicenter archives. Today, we look back at our 2004 interview with the former Johnny B. Bad from WCW, Wild Man Marc Mero. Here comes Johnny B. Bad. You don't want to make him mad. He's as pretty as a picture. He looks just like Little Richard. Don't be fooled by his looks. He's got a mean left hook, so if you don't want to end up sad, don't mess with Johnny B. Bad. We had Mero back on in 2025. You can find that in our archives as well. Don't forget to subscribe. And now, welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Interactive Interview on the interactiveinterview.com, as always, courtesy of ProWrestling.com, and we're joined here today by our very special guest, Marc Mero. Marc, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, we're doing fantastic. The fans want to know. The most submitted question that we've gotten for you is, what have you been up to of late since your departure from the professional wrestling industry?
Well, I've been doing personal training at a company out here in the Orlando area, Orlando, Florida, and it's called Lifetime Results, and I am a trainer that does super slow.
We usually do a chronological order, so I'm going to throw this question to you. What can you tell us about your boxing background?
My boxing? Well, you're going way back. Back in the early 80s, I was an amateur boxer, and I won the New York State Golden Gloves, I won the Empire State Games, I won the AAU, and then I was a member of the USA boxing team. I had a record of 58-2 with 37 knockouts, 16 in the first round. So I'm pretty good at boxing.
Well, how did that develop into a career in professional wrestling?
Well, that's it's kind of a roundabout way, but it all started by I was sitting around with a bunch of friends watching TV. We were watching wrestling, and we were kind of just laughing and watching it. And I said to my buddy, I said, I can do this. And they all go, yeah, right, you're going to wrestle those big guys. I go, I'm telling you, I think I can do this. And I went to wrestling school, Malenko's wrestling camp in Tampa, Florida, run by Boris Malenko, who passed away, trained me. And I then started going up to Atlanta, Georgia, and just being the enhancement wrestler for WCW, the jobber.
Right.
Picking up a paycheck here and there. But then Dusty Rhodes saw me, and that's when the Johnny B. Bad character came about because of my resemblance at the time to Little Richard.
Yes, you said that, and that was actually going to be our next question. How did you enjoy the Johnny B. Bad character?
It was when they first gave it to me. It was a little tough because wearing all the makeup, but at that time, I was so poor in my life that they gave me a contract, and it was like I felt like a millionaire when they gave it to me. But at that point, you do anything to get into business. So if I was wearing a feather boa and pink eyeliner, what are you going to do? So I did it, but once I was with WCW for a while, I was able to kind of call more of my own shots, and I talked to Dusty about me dropping the makeup and just toning it down a bit,
Right.
I enjoyed that part of the Johnny B. Bad character towards the end, like 90, 94 to 96 was a lot of fun.
Now, back in 1991, you were nominated and actually won the PWI Rookie of the Year award. So, how highly do you consider that on your honors list?
I thought it was a great honor. It was voted by the fans of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I thought it was a great honor that they recognized the character, my wrestling ability. So just starting out, it was a huge honor. And I'm actually looking at it on my wall in my memorabilia room right now.
Cool.
I can see it right where I'm sitting.
Excellent. Going back to 1991, the Great American Bash, this is actually the first time I had the opportunity to see you. You wrestled Brian Pillman. He was under the moniker of the Yellow Dog at the time. How did you enjoy working with Brian, and do you have any fond memories of him?
It was hot and cold. Brian, when he wants to be, could have been a top wrestler, but there's sometimes he, like many wrestlers don't give it their all, or if they're not happy with maybe the push they're getting or whatever. But Brian we had a match years later at, I think it was Fall Brawl.
Yes.
Yeah, it was probably one of my better matches I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 30-minute match with Brian Pillman, and it was just tremendous. He put forth an effort that was second to none. It was like a 4.5-star match or something. It was just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to use a phrase that's often used, the match that seemed to pretty much put you on the map was the match against Sting in 1991 at Clash of the Champions. What were your memories of working Sting?
Well, Sting actually, it was a nerve-wracking wrestling with one of the top guys right away. But, actually Sting and I became really good friends. He's a super human being. And I really enjoy his sense of humor. It's unbelievable. A lot of people don't know that. He's got a great sense of humor. He was always cracking me up.
They used some of your past in 1992 when you had a boxing match with Scotty Flamingo, who went on to be Raven. Memories of working with the guy that plays the Raven character?
I actually learned a lot from Scotty. He was real patient. I was brand new. I never wrestled before. And my first match was 1991. And all of a sudden I'm thrown out and wrestling the top guys in the world in WCW. I didn't really know what I was doing too much. But he was a guy that really kind of guided me. Helped me out a lot.
Excellent.
In 1993, WCW held the TV title tournament, and in that, of course, you defeated Chris Benoit in the opening round. Now, while you didn't end up winning the tournament, what were your memories of working with Chris, and are you surprised at how well he's doing now?
Oh, man, he's one of the true good guys. Him and Eddie Guerrero both. I couldn't be happier for those two guys. They're super human beings. They give so much sport, so much back to the fans. And honestly, there couldn't be two more well-deserving guys that deserve this title than them.
In 1994...
I learned a lot from Chris. Chris was a tremendous worker. He was very patient.
In 1994, you captured the WCW TV title, and the rumor on the internet, and from a recent interview conducted with Honky Tonk Man, is that Honky Tonk Man did not want to do the job for you, and that is why he left WCW. Any truth to this rumor, and what is the story behind it, if you can share it with us?
Yeah, from what I remember, it was true. He didn't want to do a job. And, everybody's got their agendas, and, at the time, it's like, damn, my guy's going to lose a job over it. Lose income over not wanting to do something that is just storylines,
Right.
It's crazy.
Was there any bad feelings there from you to him, or no?
No. You respect the guy for his, what he wants to stand up for. If that's what he wanted to do, he obviously lost a lot of money by it. Who cares now, Whether he won or I won, does someone actually really care right now? Why do you have enough money? It blows my mind.
Right.
Now, one of the superstars of WCW who was picked up when they went to the WWF, Diamond Dallas Page, he's just come out of retirement again. But what were your memories of working with DDP?
Oh man, I love working with Page. He is still to this day one of my good friends, and he was just a real detail man. So the match, was going to be very, very thought through, and it was going to be good. We had some good matches.
Now, during your tenure in WCW, you saw obviously a lot of your bosses, come and go within the company, such as Eric Bischoff and Bill Watts and others that at the moment I can't think of. But did you ever have any confrontations or any butting of heads of any of the higher ups?
Not really. You're always a little nervous because when the captain of the ship changes, and then there's always that, we're coming in, we're making changes, things are going to be my way, this, that, and then nothing really changes, Bill Watts tried to come in as more of a strict disciplinarian. Some guys, the veterans weren't used to that too much, so that didn't really fly too well. He didn't last too long. But, somehow I survived those years until WWF gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. I was the first one to get a guaranteed contract at WWF.
Wow. Well, speaking of that, It seemed like there was virtually no time lapse between your time in WCW and the time in the WWF. What led to you leaving the WCW to go to the WWF?
There's a lot of, a little arguing with me and Eric Bischoff on certain things. And, then obviously when I talked to Vince, I realized that, this guy's going to give me enough money and, the possibility of working with my wife at the time, Sable, Rena, who came in as Sable, it gave me an opportunity to fulfill another dream of seeing her become in the business, which was, instrumental in us together making an awful lot of money and really enjoying the time to be able to travel and do things with your wife.
When you first came into the WWF, you worked with one of the guys that many consider to be the best in the business today, Triple H. Any memories of working with Triple H?
He's really a good worker. I learned a lot from Triple H. We had some really good matches, and he's a guy that really dedicates himself to his craft.
To kind of tie in those two questions, of course, the angle that you came in with Triple H did center around Sable. Was it your decision to ask, Rena to come in, or was it Vince's idea, or was it?
No, that was my idea. I approached Vince when I signed my contract that she would, be with me.
Did he immediately just say yes to the idea, or?
Well, as soon as he saw her, he said yes.
Right.
Now, it's a slightly difficult question to ask, but of course the internet, will report everything that they can hear from left to right and everything in between. And the rumor, basically, regarding yourself and Rena, is that they say the two of you broke up over her decision to return to Vince last year. Would you like to care to address those rumors, or?
I try to keep that personal, but that really, I think anytime that you're separated from your spouse, then they have to travel a lot, because obviously I wasn't traveling with Rena no more. I was taking care of our daughter at the time, and it certainly was more difficult not having her around anymore. And, but there was a lot of problems that built up to it. But, I want to say this, though. My ex-wife and I are the best of friends. She's a tremendous human being. I will never say anything bad about her. She's, she's in a difficult business. And we remain friends. I'm looking at a little poodle watching on the road. I can talk when she goes on the road. We've had her for 10 years, so we kind of split custody of the dog, too. So, but she's a really good person. We both moved on in our lives, dating-wise and so on. But we remain friends, and I'm really happy about that. We were able to, go through a divorce with very, very little expense at all. We split everything, and there was no real fighting or arguing. It was just we both wanted to move on and not go through that and dog each other out. So we just chose not to really talk about what happened or why it happened. But it's just part of life, You grow apart and you move on. But thankfully, like I said, we remain tremendous friends.
Excellent. Is she enjoying her current run in the WWE?
That's something you probably have to ask her, but I think when we had our first run with the WWE was probably the best. She really seemed to enjoy it more then. And that's speaking not from what she told me, but just from watching it, it just doesn't seem like to me that she probably enjoys it as much as she wanted to.
Now, one lady you also worked with in your time in the WWF, Jacqueline, recently, basically, I think it must have been last week or the week before, received her release. How did you enjoy working with her?
It was okay. It was, not as much as I enjoyed working when Sable and I were in our the prime of our careers. But it was just it was a difficult time working at that time. And she was a really nice person. I never had anything bad to say about her. But probably didn't get the heat that some girls got, like Luna got tons of, compared to Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Can I ask you this question? What are your memories of Owen Hart?
Nothing but good. He was a funny guy. I enjoyed working with him. I enjoyed listening to him. I enjoyed his BS. He was a funny guy. Make up stories, and I'll never forget, he locked me and Davey Boy Smith in a locker room one time with a padlock. They had to go get lock cutters for that. I was like, if they don't find lock cutters, we're in so much trouble. And it was just one of the funny little pranks that he would just say, I didn't do it, it wasn't me, you know. It was always somebody else.
Another Hart brother is, yeah, we've heard nothing but good things about him. Survivor Series 97, we're going to have to ask you this question. It really doesn't center around you, but what were your impressions of the Brett and Shawn thing, and what did you see backstage?
I was actually sitting right next to Brett, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I didn't actually see the match other than, you know, obviously hearing all about it. I may have been watching some of it on the monitor, but I was sitting dressed at the time.
Right.
I already had my match beforehand.
Right.
And I just remember a lot of arguing and fighting, and then someone convinced that Brett just knocked out Vic or something. It's like, damn, what's going on? But I always liked Brett. You know, when I tore up my knee, I went up to Calgary to rehab it. Brett let me stay and work out at his home and everything. He was a tremendous guy. A lot of respect for Bret Hart.
I'm not sure if you've heard, but with the release of the Ric Flair autobiography, Ric's pretty much ripped into everyone that you can find that isn't working with him at the moment, and Bret was one of those people. Have you had a chance to? Basically, what are your thoughts on Ric Flair, and maybe if the comments he's made, if you know them?
The thing is, I really like Ric Flair. I love working with Ric Flair. I love traveling with him. He was funny. He was always nice to me, but he was so good at the business end of it. You know, it's hard. There's some guys that are so good at this business as far as working, as if they're telling you the truth or not. And Rick just knew how to position himself properly. He was good at it. But to me, he was always really nice to me. And what he said about people, I don't know. You wonder why. I mean, obviously, they sell books to make money, but that's
yeah. Controversy sells, I guess. I'm not sure if there's anything going to be here, but what are your memories of working with Butterbean?
I still keep in touch with Butterbean. He's actually a friend of mine. He's fun. He's a sweetheart of a guy, man. He's like a big teddy bear, but man, does he hit hard. He's a good person.
Of course, now, tournaments are a question that I've been brought up before earlier on in the interview, but you actually captured the WF Intercontinental title in a tournament where you defeated Farouk, Owen Hart, as mentioned before, and Steve Austin. So this is a multi-part question. First of all, how did you enjoy that victory?
Oh my God, that was tremendous. That's when I really felt like I was finally a part of the WWE. When I finally got a title, you know.
Right.
It was, I'd get to the finals. I beat guys like Owen Hart, Stone Cold, and I think it was Billy Gunn was another guy I beat. And so it was tremendous. I beat Farouk in the finals. It was a great time. And unfortunately, I didn't get the title very long, but it was a lot of fun.
And the second part of the question is submitted by listener Sean Sheridan. He wants to know, how did you enjoy working with Steve Austin, and how much credit do you take in the propelling of the Stone Cold era?
Do I take any credit of it?
Yeah.
I don't think I take any credit for what. Geez, other than taking a couple stunners for him. But, I love working with Steve. He was a great wrestler. He was really good. And we had some really good matches, too.
They started turning you heel and putting you against Sable. Was that something that you guys enjoyed doing, or were you opposed to the idea?
It was strictly forbidden. And it worked. I mean, it made her a superstar as far as propelling her, because she really became damn for the distress that
one question I just want to throw in here. When you obviously originally signed and put the idea of, Rena becoming, your valet or whatever, was the idea that she would just stay as a valet, or was it that she'd eventually, be
No,
be a part of the women's division?
I mean, she didn't know how to wrestle or anything, and we didn't want to get her hurt. But then they seen her do some cat fights with, I think it was Luna that really started it, and they got so much heat, it just took off, and it just goes, what about this teacher how to wrestle? And I worked with Rena to help her learn, at least get, do matches. And she then her first match at SummerSlam was against Goldust and Luna. She really did well. We had a good match for WrestleMania.
Right. Why did you leave the WWF in late 1998?
Well, I left in support of Rena. With all the things that were happening at the time, and she was uncomfortable with what they wanted her to do. And I still had 3 years left on my contract and huge salary. And, it's something that you look back now and, you wonder if you made the right decision. But if I guess I did it again, if you're, supporting your wife and wanting to do the right thing in life, I felt that I did it.
You seemed to resurface in 2000 on an episode of WCW Thunder in a pull-apart with Tank Abbott. Was your plan to stick around a while?
No, I didn't know if I'd be going back to wrestling or not. I was kind of, part of me wanted to, but part of me, I've been doing it for, years or 10 years or whatever it was, and I was a little burned out. And I'm really happy with my life now. 10 great years of my life, but it was time to move on. And I'm always looking for the next chapter of my life. What will next year bring Marc Mero? And not to say I would never wrestle again. I don't know. I don't, really think about it too much now. But as you get away from it more and more. But as I'm getting older, I'm really keeping myself in great physical shape. I feel good, and I can still wrestle if I wanted to. But right now, I choose to really just enjoy, being retired.
If the right event, the right promoter came up to you and said, would you be interested in doing this and this, a couple of shows here and there, would it be something you'd be interested in doing then?
Yeah, I would always listen, and like I said, if the right opportunity came, you might see me back out there again. But if not, it's not going to be something that I'm going to totally regret, or I'm not something I'm hoping or praying for. It's just, like I said, I'm really content in my life right now.
Yeah, it seemed like late 2003, the bigger rumor was Vince Russo was hell-bent to get you in NWA TNA. Any truth behind that rumor, and why didn't you entertain the offer?
We have talked about it, but with my work schedule now, with my company here in Orlando, and obviously having to get to Nashville and so on, just wasn't feasible at the time.
What are your memories of the XWF?
Hopeful. I was really hoping it would have taken off, working with Hulk and guys like that. Last time I was just at Game 7 with Hulk Hogan in the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
And he's a guy who really, really enjoyed being around. He's a good person. Always takes time for the fans, and just always treated me really good.
Wow, cool.
You're, of course, speaking to one of the biggest Hulk Hogan fans in James there, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm always on a battle with people about why I like him so much. So.
He's a good man. He really is.
And now, one question we ask quite a lot of people who have been in the WCW in the early 90s and then WWF in perhaps the late 90s. How would you compare the two companies in terms of the way that things were run?
There's, both of them had their turmoil and ups and downs. Obviously WWE being more successful knew how to market the wrestlers better.
Right.
But I enjoyed my time with WCW also. I wish I would have stuck around long enough to see it get to the point where the NWO and all that took off. Huge. That was a lot of fun to be a part of WCW when get to the point where they were getting unbelievable numbers and they were showing up for events. That would have been fun.
A question we get a lot from the fans is to try to get to know the man behind the character and the man that they've seen on TV. So this is more of a personal question, but what CD is in your stereo right now?
What CD?
Yeah.
I don't even know. What CD's in my stereo right now? Oh God, it's an old Creed CD. Believe it or not.
Cool. So do you mind if we close out with some word associations? We'll give you a name, and if you have a story, you can feel free to say it. If you just have a one-word answer, that's fine too.
Okay.
All right, first name on the list is Jimmy Garvin.
Jimmy Garvin?
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Goldust.
Funny as hell.
Bradshaw.
Bully.
Mick Foley.
Conniving.
Max Payne.
Hopeful.
Al Snow.
Good person.
The Rock.
Good guy.
Shawn Michaels.
Wish I got to know him better. He was in a real fog when I was there, and I wish I could know him now, where he is now.
Rena Mero.
Rena Mero?
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful person.
How about
Will be my best friend.
Hulk Hogan?
Great guy. Love him.
Eric Bischoff?
Wish I was closer with him. I like him outside of the wrestling business.
David Penzer?
Always nice to me.
And the final one I've got is Vince McMahon.
Dad always said, if you don't have nothing nice to say about someone, don't say it at all. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Well, we really can't thank you enough. Thank you for giving us as much time as you have, and we'll let you get back to your business.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Stay tuned for more from the interactive interview.
This is Kimberly Page, and the Wrestling Epicenter would like to apologize for the following.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the interactive interview. We just finished up with Marc Mero, Wildman Marc Mero. Did you know he's a bit... Marvelous Marc Mero. Well, you can also say he's a bad man.
Yeah. He's Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, great interview. Well, I really enjoyed that one because we tried Mark about 6 months ago, and he wasn't interested in doing an interview then.
It was all in my sales pitch.
Yeah.
I didn't pitch it right. I said, if there's anything you want to promote, and he's like, oh, I'm not really into business. And I was like, oh, fuck. Pardon my French, but...
So, yeah, we got there in the end. And, yeah, good interview, I think.
I thought it was an excellent interview, absolutely, and he's really a genuinely nice guy, and that's always good to hear.
Yeah.
It seems like he gets along with just about everybody, and from the few conversations I've actually had with him, it's easy to see why.
Yeah. Exactly. He's like a nice guy. I mean,
It's hard to picture him actually punching somebody out. But then you... Okay. Wow. That's kind of what he got paid for boxing and then wrestling. Yeah, exactly. Alright, so it's been a while since we put a new show up. A lot has changed. Well, some has changed. Of course, there's still the WWE Champion. I guess if you want to get into the Vengeance recap. Well,
it's delayed WWE Champion, not
yeah.
the same one.
Yes, it is.
Huh?
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh.
You're confusing me, yeah?
I'm confusing you completely, don't worry.
Of course, Daniel, I think, is thinking of the Great American Bash when JBL got the title.
Indeed.
Yeah, but Vengeance, Chris Benoit held on to the World Heavyweight Championship.
But do you know why I'm getting confused? Just to make myself look slightly less stupid.
Why is that?
Because I just read the SmackDown spoiler.
Oh.
Eddie got it back again?
No.
He didn't?
No, he didn't.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I still and there's still the same setup. See, no, why do I not say there's no championship when Eddie didn't even... Oh, well,
I can't believe that he didn't get the belt back in the cage match.
yeah.
I've actually been watching both Raw and SmackDown the past couple weeks, and there's been good, there's been bad, but I've just decided that on Monday nights and Thursday nights I'm not doing anything anyway, except for Thursdays when I do Tai Chi. But, you know, I just pop a tape in and I figure, you know, I'm just going to start watching this stuff and see if there's anything worth commenting on. So, yeah, I've been enjoying it, but there was Vengeance last Sunday night, so why don't we go run down the card?
Okay, right. First match on the opener was, of course, Garrison Cade, the coach, versus Rhino and Tajira. With obviously Rhino being the surprise partner.
Well, the thing about that is that Rhino in the past couple weeks on Raw has been trying to find his own tag team partner niche. There was Sergeant Slaughter, and then there was Val Venus, and now he looks like he found it with Tajiri, and they're going to go for the tag belts.
Yeah. It's another good tag team put together, because eventually they'll be recognized as teaming together.
Well, true. And I'm not one that usually goes for teams of singles guys that just can't figure out what to do with. Example, RVD and Booker T really bothered me because there's no way that those two are tag team.
Yeah.
But, you know, whatever. I'm just glad that when they... Speaking of the tag division, since we just mentioned it, the tag title match, was that the second match on the card?
It was... Well, that wasn't the second match on the card, it was just below, so... we can talk about that now.
Okay. It was Eugene and Ric Flair against...
La Resistance.
La Resistance, yes. And it's actually good. It's actually good that they kept the tag championships on the tag team.
Yeah.
Because La Resistance is probably the best solid tag team that they've got. So it's good that they kept the belt on there.
In terms of gimmick, at least, but not in terms of wrestling ability, because I'm not a big fan of the one,
Conway's pretty damn cool in the way he bumps around. He made everything look real when I was watching that, so he's pretty good. I was watching them, and of course Eugene was stealing all Ric Flair's material, which is hysterical. That was great.
But so I think that ended up as it needed to. And Eugene will now, of course, carry on strength to strength.
Right.
The main event against world champion on Monday.
Right. Well, it's good for Eugene.
You called it.
It's gone well for Eugene. The crowd, I was not impressed with his crowd reactions of late, but hopefully now that he's away from Evolution, he can be the solid face again instead of that mixed reaction.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens if he can get the whole crowd behind him or if there's still going to be a mixed reaction.
I mean, at least he's actually getting reaction there.
That's true. Because whenever he comes on, the crowd does something. Sometimes they're booing, sometimes they're cheering. I really can't figure him out. So.
Different towns, different things.
Yeah.
So the gimmick's going well, and it looks like Nick Dim's more onto a winner.
Well, exactly. And once again, you said it right. What does it say that you know, the gimmick that the WWE writers they need to come up with is the best one they got?
Well, maybe they should stick Nick on the creative team, because of course on SmackDown they managed to come up with the wonders of the Colossus of Boggle Road, Jones, who's now gone, Kenta Suzuki, who's sort of plummeting, he wants to get along.
Yeah, he's floundering pretty well.
And Mordecai, who's been back down to WCW, so...
Why don't they call Mordecai the evil Jeff Jarrett? Look at him. He looks like Jeff Jarrett, like that's not slept in about 10 years.
I did actually think that was when I first saw his outfit. It was like Jeff Jarrett from Double J days.
Right. It's like Jeff Jarrett got locked in a coffin somewhere and just crawled out.
But moving back, of course, to our Vengeance weekend. Second match of the card, actually. Jericho versus Batista.
I can't believe they gave Batista the win, but... Yeah.
Yeah, it seems a bit of a surprise since they, since they then turned around and had Vince lose on Raw.
But
Yeah, but
yeah, well, I mean, that was not really a big match card for either guy, so it really doesn't matter. Yep.
Well, let's watch that one. What really did surprise me, though, was Matt Hardy beating Kane.
Absolutely, and that was really well done. I'd say what you want about the storyline. I'm not that crazy about it, to be honest with you. But at least, say what you want. At least the guys that are involved in it are giving their heart into it. I mean, Lita was in there. She's actually not a bad actress. And Matt Hardy works hard, so it's good that they're doing something with Matt, though, because he was becoming one of the biggest things that SmackDown had. Then they put him on Raw, and he was pretty much nothing. So I'm glad they're doing something with him. Right.
It just seems like they've taken one of their best attributes, switched it to aside maybe to make it stronger or whatever, and then just done absolutely nothing with it. So.
Right. I mean, they sold a lot of those Mattitude version 1 shirts.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I got a, believe it or not, in Christmas, I guess 2002 or 2003. Might have been just gone. But the guy emailed me from England, and he asked me if I could buy the shirt for him. He'd pay me with the shipping to the UK, because apparently they wouldn't ship to the UK. So I had to buy him the Mattitude version 1 t-shirt, and yes, he did pay me for it, so that's okay. But just throwing that in there, that the demand for those shirts was worldwide. So it wasn't you, though, by the way, was it?
No, it wasn't me, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So.
Let me take my order. No, I don't think
Okay.
I wouldn't be against you buying one if you wanted to.
Okay.
It's got a little championship match.
First of all, great match. There was
The match itself was good.
the fact that Orton lost the belt, I'm not sure was that good.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say.
I'm not sure that's going to be the best idea, simply because I think Edge is kind of above the title. Edge was
He should be, yeah.
Edge was kind of moving towards the main event with Triple H. I can't figure out why they give him the Intercontinental title, which kind of cements you in the upper mid-card.
I think the reason being is basically because he's come back and he's not had the reactions from the crowd they want. So, I mean, he did an interview with the Sun, the Little Boys, last week. Quite recently, actually. And, they asked him about, it was obviously before they asked him about getting a new image, turning heel and stuff like that. And he was open and honest, saying turning heel could be something that would happen soon if the crowds don't start coming on my side, because he enjoys and feels he's better at working the crowd as a heel. So, at least he's honest with it.
Well, that's true, but then again, you really can't tell what the guys, what the guys say does not necessarily mean what's going on. Example, The Undertaker swore up and down he would never be the dead man again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guys have a certain amount of control, but if Vince really wants something, he's going to get it. So. And for some reason, Edge always strikes me as a baby face.
Yeah, I mean, when he was a Christian, I thought he was quite good as a tweener or such, but...
For some reason, he's just one of those guys you want to like. At least I do, anyway.
The match that sandwich two matches, the match, the filling of the sandwich, should we say, between two long matches. Molly Holly versus Victoria.
And I'm pretty sure neither one of those are unaccustomed to being in a sandwich, if you're with me.
I think Molly would be.
Well, yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. Molly is actually a virgin, isn't she? That's just so that's just so unauthored. I'm just making a joke. I don't even know what Victoria's personal life is like. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just making a joke. But that's just so unorthodox for a woman to actually be a virgin in this business. I thought there used to be like a prerequisite. I must be a sexual deviant to be in this business.
Yeah. You're living in the past. Get with time, James. Get with time.
Okay.
Anyway, you get the main event.
Yeah, that was just a bumper. That was just a bumper match. Victoria got the win. I thought her old theme song was cooler. I didn't like it either, but at least it was more fitting to the character. Now it's just some kind of dance song, so.
Oh well, I wanted to go back to the crazy antics. They were more entertaining.
Right.
But yeah, moving on to what I tried to move on to there without discussing the women's match, like,
Right.
the main event. Chris Benoit and Triple H, not a solid match from them too, as you expect.
Yeah, they went about 38 minutes.
I read it fine, 30 minutes.
You wouldn't even know if I watched it, because I watched it start to bell to bell, and I didn't even think, wow, this match has gone long.
I mean, the Hell in a Cell match, you realise it was going long, mainly because they kept reminding you. But
Right.
this one, this kind of, flew by.
Right, well, people say what they want about Triple H, and I've been guilty of it too. People say, oh, he's not been the same worker that he was before the injury. The guy has, in back-to-back pay-per-views, well, back-to-back Raw pay-per-views, gone nearly 40 minutes or over in matches, and he's given it his all. So I think anybody who says he's not back to 100%, he silenced the doubters anyway. And he's also done the job to Benoit again, which is really the best thing for the company. And I admit, I was pretty ticked off when he got the belt in December, because I don't think he needed it. But now I give him credit for not pulling the strings that everybody thought he would. So congratulations to him for that.
Exactly. It is working because he went so long without losing. But now, I mean, he lost to Shelton Benjamin, and that skyrocketed Shelton. He's now lost to Chris Benoit twice, and that cemented Benoit as a good heavyweight champion.
Right.
So, but maybe he's smarter than we all think.
Well, as Chris Benoit would say, he's for real.
What?
Chris Benoit is for real.
I'm completely missing this, honestly.
Benoit, but he did a promo at the end of the last pay-per-view, I guess it was Bad Blood, after he beat Kane, and they kept asking him, well, what'd you think of this move? Well, Chris Benoit is for real. Well, what'd you think of this move? Well, Chris Benoit is for real. It's like his response was the same. And I love Benoit, but I'm sorry, that's just funny to me.
Yeah, then again, you don't really like, you see against the promos on a pay-per-view, because you didn't like the Orton promo before his match on Bad Blood.
That was just silly, though.
I watched it, and I quite enjoyed it.
Alright, well, I'm not really against promos on them. I just think that the crowd should actually be booing you for you to say that they're booing you. You know, if you're going to say, stop booing me, they should boo. But
Yeah, well, he was at the back, it's quiet out there. Sorry, it's loud out there, you might not be able to hear properly. You might have had like a JVC or something and thought, oh, the crowd booing you.
right.
Don't think logically about the situation surrounding you, James.
Okay.
That was that come up much.
So that was actually, like I said, I thought it was a fairly solid pay-per-view. And how many matches did you just name? 6? Is that all there were?
There were 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 7.
Yeah. Well, they need to start bringing up new talent, though. Because some of the guys that they have now, the ones that aren't working, they need to... First of all, Raw is continuously light on matches. Filler segments with stupid stuff like Raw Divas Search. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So, Jerry Lawler does his best, and he tries to be funny with it, but the bottom line is the crowd does not want to see some nobodies who they're never going to see again spending up time for the tickets that they probably paid good money to sit there for, you know? I mean, of course, that's just a small segment of the people that are seeing the show, but I'm pretty sure, me as a viewer, I also don't want to see 2 segments of a show spent on something I frankly don't care about.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, if they just, put a video package together, while, just a roll, like during, not even Raw, during like, tease, all the highlight shows and stuff.
Right.
And maybe promote it on the website, maybe have the highlight package on the website or something. But it doesn't. If people don't care the first time round, they're not going to care the second and third time round either.
Okay. Well, you know, let's see what it does ratings-wise on Thursday. I'd be surprised if it does well.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to put stars on there to save it, like Triple H and Chris Jericho, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. Oh well, best of luck.
Best of luck to them. So, you know, I realized a couple things while watching WWE that TNA is lacking. And that is the degree of continuity. Like, they'll start an angle, and you won't see it again.
Right.
And they don't like explain where it went or why it ended.
Right.
Example: who trashed Russo's office? Nobody seems to know. Nobody seems to care. He went in there one day and his office was trashed, and then that was it. And then there's Gorgeous George, who came down twice in a row and then was never seen again.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
It's like she came down, not only did she come down, she came down in the middle of a main event. And then all of a sudden was gone.
Well, it's supposed to make us think.
Maybe, but, you know, usually when you're thinking about something, you want to see exactly if you're right or wrong. But this is just like not going anywhere. It's like, what was Alicia, who played Ryan Shamrock, what was she doing for the money at the beginning of TNA? They did the thing where she came down to the ring and somebody would always pay her, and they never said what it was for, except it wasn't for what you thought it was for. So what was it for? You got to answer these questions. It's like WCW. First of all, and I want to point this out. I was talking to Eric, who was on the show for a while back. He was the first trivia contestant, which we'll talk about a little bit later, more trivia. But I wanted to point this out. Who was driving the Hummer in 1999 with Kevin Nash? Remember that angle?
Yeah.
And here's another point about that. In the same show that he got hit with a car, he came out at the end. So if you're fine after getting hit with a car, who cares anyway? That's just, some of this booking is just stupid, but, you know, TNA, like I say, I'm a TNA fan, I really hope they succeed, but they really have to make sure that if they're going to start an angle with somebody, that they're going to be there when they need them.
And can I just quickly say thank you to Dave Corleone for sending out the more tapes. I really enjoyed them. I managed to catch the first two episodes of Impact, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, aside from the fact that obviously American television has a huge deal more advert breaks than UK television.
Well, it's not just that, though. It's the fact that they also are trying to sell the pay-per-view. Obviously, they're not going to make that much money off the TV show. So they're trying to get anybody that watches that show to also watch the pay-per-view. So they do...
I don't mind that. I think it's a good idea.
Right.
Because, you know, it sounds viciously. It's just a shame that obviously DirecTV is no longer covering it, but...
Right. Yeah, and that's... And if Dave's listening out there, I will be sending you the month of July TNA tape as soon as it's done. So that'll be a thank you for helping us out all the time. You've been a great guy.
Yeah, definitely. So yes, so thank you for that. Yeah, I said I'll review the show as I've watched it. I thought, I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
American TV does just generically have more ads than UK TV.
That's probably true.
Maybe not less ads, maybe more ad breaks. You know, and UK TV's ones last for longer, and your guys' ones last for longer.
Who really knows? I mean, I'll tell you this much though: they can take an hour and a half movie and make it a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
So that means they're putting a half-hour commercials in there, which is a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, there's that. And I don't like that, but never mind. I do like the fact they've got that ticker across the top.
Yeah.
Someone halfway through. It's been, oh, wrestling, who's this? AJ Styles versus Frankie Kazarian, whatever.
Plus, it makes it feel more sporty.
Yeah.
It feels like you're watching legitimate sport, like football for you, soccer, I guess, or for us, like baseball.
Yeah.
It gives it that legitimate feel. And they finally did use, this past week on TNA, the judge.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Fine, I mean, it's a good idea. And
They finally used it, and the really good thing is now they have 2 legends instead of 1 around. They have Dusty still hanging around, helping out, and now they have Larry Zbyszko as a regular. And Larry's a former guest on the show, and hell of a guy.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I mean, it's adding credibility as they go along. And having like Ken Shamrock there as a semi-regular.
Well, it looks to me like he's going to be more of a regular than any of us expected.
Yeah, I mean, when I first found out about the deal, I made some inquiries and I was told that it's going to be a one-shot deal. So obviously something, Ken enjoyed himself and wanted to, renegotiate. But of course, Ken Shamrock breaking the news that he was going to be in TNA on our show for the first time last week. You can check that out in the archive section.
Yep.
Indeed.
And they're doing a good job with his angle. I don't know how long he's going to stick around, but it's good to see him there, and he was the first TNA champion. People don't need to forget that, so...
Yeah.
First TNA champion. Is there any truth to the rumor that they're going to be losing the moniker of NWA?
They pretty much have already. If you think about it, everything's just TNA wrestling now. The only thing that's NWA is the championship, which I suppose they're still keeping for posterity. But,
well, I hope they do keep the NWA TNA name here. The reason being is I watched a great pay-per-view, and if anybody out there is hearing this in my voice range, and you're listening to this not in the archives but now, there's a great pay-per-view on this month called Red, Black, and Blue, and it's classic wrestling. It's called Classic Wrestling Documentary Series Red, Black, and Blue. Basically, it is the history of the NWA title from 1905 to like 1978. It's really cool how they did everything. They show clips of the matches, like the really old stuff that I've never seen before. The last match on the card is Dusty Rhodes against Harley Race. So it's pretty cool how they did everything. It's really nicely put together, and if you can afford it, it's $10 and it's worth watching. And they say at the end of it, and this is the point I was trying to make, the NWA title lost some of its value at one point, but now has been revalued again and should be one of the highest prizes in wrestling for a long time to come.
yeah.
And in reality, that's why I want the TNA product to stay NWA TNA, because that belt does have damn near 100 years of credibility behind it. So, I'd keep that.
Well, speaking, of course, of, I just mentioned a second ago, you mentioned, Eric, who was our first ever trivia contest winner.
Yes.
Linking nice and smoothly, about 10 minutes later, into the promotional segment of the show, our competition. Just as I put this interview up, I'm going to put up the qualifying questions for the Stump the Host segment, which will hopefully go up on our next issue.
Right.
Hopefully. Because that's been recording on Friday, with this hopefully being Wednesday.
Well, we can't... We're going to say who it is?
No, it's not issue. But there'll be a big interview, and you're well listened to that one.
Yes.
And then we also have our Phrase That Pays, which will also debut on the same show.
Phrase That Pays, exactly.
They'll definitely debut on the next show.
Exactly. And what are we going to be giving away?
We're going to be giving away, James, 1 PlayStation 2 and 10 copies of the Showdown Legends of Wrestling game. And we can exclusively tell you that on the next interview, we will be giving a full and detailed recap and review of the Showdown Legends of Wrestling game. And should you want to find out the specific details of that before you listen to myself and James run it down, you can do so on www.theinteractiveinstitute.com and then click on the prizes section. You can check out all the facts and figures on the game, which is now available for worldwide release.
Absolutely, and it's out in stores now. I'm going to be picking up my copy this afternoon. And, of course, Daniel got his complimentary copy, because I get nothing. He got his complimentary copy yesterday, and he's been raving about it all night long. So we'll save the review for the next show, though.
Yeah, we think it's more fitting on the next show.
Right.
the legends of wrestling.
Yep.
And see if you can guess who's next. Okay. But as you say, yes, I'm afraid the page. We will obviously explain more at the beginning of the next show. And you're going to want to continue listening to the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really is a phrase that pays.
Phrase that pays. It just sounds like I'm going to have to whip out the radio voice guy again. We're the boys behind the noise, and it's James and Dan here, and we're giving you the phrase that pays. Okay, yay.
I thought you were going to say, okay, yay.
Yay! Alright, just quick there.
That's it. Yep, so that's coming on the next show, which hopefully will be up sometime sooner than this time next week. Which, of course, the delay in interview uploading, should we say, is my fault. So I'll take the blame on that one.
Yep, but we have one in the can and the other in the tub. No, we have one in the can and we have one coming up on Friday, so we should not be having any more 2 weeks without a show up.
Exactly. We've scheduled a few to be recorded.
Yeah, of course, one that we're having on Thursday. Yes, Magnum TA's in the can. That just doesn't sound right, does it?
We've always recorded. Is what that means. We've got an interview coming up with Larida Santana.
I'm sure that he'll love that impression.
Oh yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that again. And of course, it's not my interview's going up now.
You can maybe tell him your Mexican rap joke, though.
Oh yeah. I haven't done that.
Yeah,
He'll appreciate it.
I think he'll probably say, "Are you retarded or something?" But I want to point this one out too, though. I taped this. The Fanatic Series show is now showing the Hall of Fame banquet, and Tito Santana's on there. Former guest Bobby Heenan's on there, and first the reason I brought this up is A, Tito Santana proves what a great guy he is, and B, Bobby Heenan is absolutely hysterical. If you've not seen it, you got to order that pay-per-view. It's incredible. How funny! I was bawling, and so was Pete Rhodes. I mean, it's just hysterical.
And absolutely honestly, we don't get any money from you buying these pay-per-views. We're just promoting them for our love.
Yep. Yeah. I should run commercials for them and see if they'll pay us for them.
Yeah.
We already discussed this once before. Yep.
Good. Excellent. So, check out theinteractiveinterview.com for the prize giveaways. All the information and the facts and figures and entry information is all on there.
And because everybody loves this guy, I'm just going to point this out. Sting's in the new game.
Yes.
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 So people will be happy.
Yes.
And I read a review and that somebody said that the game was good, but they didn't have enough old school matches. You know, like the old school Hell in the Cell and Elimination Chamber. I just read that and rolled my eyes. And that they needed to have legends like Triple H and Chris Jericho in the game. I just went, oh god, okay.
How old was the person that wrote that?
And he claimed to be 16, but I'd say even younger than that.
Yeah. The internet's a fickle thing. Can't believe.
I mean, I like both those guys, Triple H and Jericho, but they're not legends yet. Give them a few years.
Okay. But anyway, this has been the interactive interview with Marc Mero.
Marc Mero.
And
yeah. Well, next show. I want to play, real quickly, I want to play the new Scorpion song. Anybody hasn't checked this record out, holy shit. I bought this thing, I thought it was going to suck, but I bought it just out of loyalty. Probably the best record I've heard this year. Gives Tesla's One a run for its money, which is, in my opinion, the best record of the decade. So, this gives it the run for the money, so I'll play something off there. I gotta decide what.
Okay. So, just make sure we like it.
Alright. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you on Friday. Excellent.
Peace out.
Peace in. And peace off.
If you enjoyed what you just heard, please click the like button and the notifications bell. And consider subscribing. It really helps. Thank you.